ones that actually done the that you'd like to know about? No questions? Oh, I'm amazed. Yes.
They want to know if the fur is real.
Is the fur on her hat is that real or?
This is actually wolf hide. So it's actual wolf. Those are hawk feathers on the side with vulture feathers and stuff on the back. They all mean something important. The feathers represent a connection to the spiritual entities in the sky. The wolf represents a warrior thing. The wolf represents being able to lead your people and things like that. So there. All right, there you go. Yep.
Any more?
What skin is or what color is the skin of the drum?
This dude.
Deer?
Buffalo sounds better.
A little more power five.
Do you still live in a tribe, or do you live as people like us?
People like
Well, we are all a tribe if you think about it. But yes, we do. We are descendants of tribes. But I have a job just like all of these adults here. So yeah, but on the backside, we still follow many things left in our culture, what we call traditions. How many of you all are going to be having turkey next week? Is that not a tradition at your house? Don't you have side dishes and vegetables and rolls and things that you have every year? So our definition of tradition is what the adults pass down to us as children. Then when we grow up, we pass that same tradition down to the children. So that is what, whenever you hear us say traditional, that is really what we're talking about. But yes, I have a regular daytime job too.
Anybody else? Oh. No more questions?
So I see that the flute is more like a recorder style flute. Is there any where that the sort of pan flute style flute where you kind of blow across the reeds, is that more popular, or is it just because of availability of materials, or?
With the North American indigenous flute, it's kind of like a recorder. It doesn't have a sound hole at the bottom. All of them are tuned basically to minor pentatonic scale. So you have the one scale, you can make a major scale, but it doesn't have all the notes of the major scale. And they're usually tuned, to like your 440 or 432 megahertz in tuning for modern times. In old times, they didn't even have a scale to it. As you can imagine, 5,000 years ago, indigenous people didn't have a concept of the key of A or the key of B. So they would have been tuned to the maker's voice, and he would have had his own unique song. It's only in more modern times that the flute has been adapted to have a modern scale to it. As far as like rim blown and stuff like that, like the zampona or the cana, those are South American indigenous people's flutes, and they're played very differently. Because the cana, it's almost more like a recorder. It has a octave hollow on the bottom and things of that nature. But this is a pretty simple by itself instrument. You can do a lot with it, with finger trills and using your tongue in the back of your throat to make sound with it. But it's pretty much, you find these from this style all the way down to little bitty pieces of river cane that would have been made in this area. This is more of a Plains Indian style flute. The older ones, or other ones that you find, like little pieces of cane, sometimes are made of bird bone. They found examples of Native American flutes like these made of vulture wing bones that are over 10,000 years old. And then around the world, they have found in France examples of flutes made of bones that are over 45,000 years old. So the flute's been around for a while. So I hope that answers your question pretty good.
Well, if you think about it, the flute's been around since biblical times. That's how old it really is. Now, the pan flute you asked about, that is South American, and that is their indigenous style of music. And I love listening to a pan flute. It's just really beautiful, beautiful. They're all beautiful. Any other questions that somebody might have? There's never a dumb question, ever. What would you like to ask them, ma'am?
How is the waddles? I don't hear waddles.
You hear him walking? Look at his legs. They're hidden. See on his knees? You know what those are? No. Those are what we call deer toes. Can you say, are we? Are we? Are we? That's how we say deer in Cherokee. Are we? Those are deer toes. They're like a rattle. They make a rattling noise. Isn't that cool?
I was just wondering if y'all still practice like your like native religion or how things have changed over time.
Ever since I was old enough, I can't speak for the others. I know he does. I know I have for 30-something years. I practiced what the Cherokees of the southeastern tribes call Gautio, in which that is a stomp dance. And that is a very quiet ceremony that's done. We would fast all night long. We're dancing all night long, not sleeping while y'all are. And we have special songs that are not written. They're passed down from generation to generation. And that we dance around a fire. There's a lot more to the Gautio because there is a lot of fasting and praying that is done. But we do a lot of praying for our families, our friends, loved ones we've lost. But this is our way, this is our small way of giving back to our Creator who did it all for us. And so I have always practiced that. I'm what is called, a female is what I call a shell shaker. I have about 13 shells strapped on both legs. So I have 26 shells full of rocks that I have on my legs all night long, constantly dancing. So I feel very light-weighted by the morning. But yeah, I am what's called a shell shaker. I do not sing, only the men can sing. But yes, we do, many do still practice, but we also go to church. We believe in both ways. Some don't, but in my way, I feel like I practice both, and I feel like by practicing both, then I think my Creator is proud of me for doing that and being honest with it. So it's all in a person or your personal choices. But he can tell you more. He's Lakota.
A lot of what we're doing is basically, the planet around you. We have a saying that says if you take care of the world you live on, take care of the beings, the animals, all of creation, you take care of that, you love each other, regardless of what differences you might think you have or been taught to have. You get rid of that, and you give thanks to something that's more powerful than yourself, you've got your bases covered. And that's in a nutshell how I believe, beliefs and stuff work. I don't go into detail about my own personal ceremonial beliefs because they're not to be spoken of in public because, that's a thing. But, we do follow a path, and it's been handed down for thousands of years. Whereas Tamara, believes in two different religious ways and combines those. I don't. I follow only our traditional ways, and that's all I believe in. And that's guided me very well through my life. I'm 47 years old. I've been around for a minute. And I've been able to find the answers to the things I need through that. But that's really just look at the world around you, and whatever you believe in, I believe, your Creator will communicate with you through the world around you, through your experiences. But a lot of us do carry those old traditions, because to do that, I have a belief that's been taught to me that what I'm doing with my life right now, all my ancestors are watching me. Okay? They're watching. They're going, what are you doing with the way of life that we bled and died for? And so I have an obligation to that, to honor them, because they sacrificed who they were, and for me to not follow it like that really is to slap their faces. And to me, there's nothing more scary than leaving this world and making my journey to the other side and having to face my ancestors and have them look at me and say they're disappointed in how I conducted myself. So that's kind of a nutshell without going into too much detail on that. But that's as far as how I go about things. It's a very ceremonial way of life. Joke is the wrong bird could fly by in the morning and I won't go out the door that day because it means something. Okay? So thank you for that question. Here's Claudia.